What's good, collective? Welcome to the message of July 2023. Just like I told y'all, I may be taking a break away from tarot cards, but as far as the spiritual wisdom and advice that some of y'all out there may be seeking, that right there is going to come straight from the source. So I was sitting there for a little while and I started channeling a message out of nowheres that some of you out there may be having a tough time at what path some of you out there should be on. So some of you out there may be having a hard time at what kind of path that you should be on. And you may have several of people that's around you that you may have thought was your real friend or your real family members. But turns out they're not leading you to success. They're not leading you to where your soul is trying to guide you to go. These individuals are causing interferences and disruptions in your spiritual path. Some of you out there may have gotten on the wrong path when it came to spirituality, and you could have, because I channeled that in one of my tarot readings whenever I was reading the cards. Some of you out there may have gotten on the wrong path when it comes to the false side of enlightenment. You thought magic was going to bring you healing. There's a reason why you're being directed from that lifestyle. There's a reason why you're being called to quit whatever you've been doing. Some of you out there may be feeling like it's manipulation that's being done to you to stop certain things, but that's the higher power that's trying to give you a warning and a sign as to say, hey, that's not okay. Simple as that. So a lot of you out there may be going through a transformation right now and an ascension period to where you feel like nothing makes sense. Like it's almost like you are suffering some type of imbalance when it comes to spirituality and the physical world. But I'm here to let you know that it may be something that is transforming, that's throwing a lot of mixed signals your way, that's giving a bunch of mixed signals towards you, that it's not the end of some type of cycle that you thought it was going to end like that. But there's just a transformation that you may be going through, an ascension period that you may be going through. And there's a reason why you're being guided away from a certain lifestyle. Because just like I said before in one of my reads, because I picked this up in my tarot card reading, I picked up to where somebody was doing magic to try to manifest something or to try to do things, and yet it's been bringing them nothing but delays. It's been bringing them nothing but stagnation. That's because the Lord don't want you to be doing that. Real manifestation is different than magic. Magic only brings and creates a small amount, how can I say this? A small percentage of somewhat success, but it's never going to be stability like your soul deserves. Because somebody out there, bro, feels dehydrated. Hold on. Somebody out there may have some type of spiritual side to where they feel dehydrated. You feel like you're going through a form of spiritual dehydration to where you feel drained of your energy. Okay, so that would be spiritual dehydration. So some of you out there may have that was involved in that. Not everybody's going to be involved, but to the ones that this is resonating with, I'm going to give you some advice to help guide you towards the right path that you deserve to be on. Because your intuition has been telling you relentlessly to stop whatever you're doing. And yet the Lord's trying to tell you something like, I'll tell you, bro, there's a lot of people out there that has been guided away from certain things. And it came on as small signs that the majority of people may not recognize because they just want to keep on ignoring and ignoring and ignoring until they get deeper into that trap. But here's the thing. If you have some friends, some family members that's around you, right this minute, that you feel stagnated around, you feel spiritually dehydrated around, you feel energetically drained, you feel like you're not going anywhere in your life, because these people clearly does not resonate. They don't resonate with where you're going on this new journey. They don't resonate with you anymore because You are ascending spiritually. These individuals really don't want to see the best for you. If you're feeling drained around them, see, a lot of people think they got to have a group of people around to feel appreciated or to feel fulfilled. But yet, I'm going to tell you what the truth is. You can be in a room full of people, a building full of people, and still feel the most isolated. I'm going to tell you why. Because your soul is in a whole different dimension than that physical body is. That's why. Because even though we may be beyond the physical flesh of the body, there's different dimensions that your soul will experience. Because if you ever pay attention to, some of you out there may be questioning on your spiritual journey, why do you get up and feel different every day? Like you can swear up and down the scenery around you change the next day. You feel weird sometimes. I'm going to tell you what that is. Because your soul is experiencing a different dimension and it's being seen through the physical eyesight. Go, come through, spirit. You know what I'm saying? This is way better than tarot cards, huh? You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of you out there may be questioning why you feel different when you wake up in the morning time, like you go outside and you look around you, but yet you feel different. Like you feel like the atmosphere is different. You feel like things have changed even though they didn't. I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. It's because your spirit is experiencing a spiritual dimension that the physical eyesight is perceiving. That right there is what's conflicting from the soul and the ego, because believe it or not, the both of them work together, but sometimes there's an imbalance. And it's up to us to create the perfect balance of both ends of the spectrum to where we can balance out our spiritual side and the ego side that sees things from the physical perception. So if some of you out there are wondering why things are changing continuously, it's because your spirit is never set in stone in a certain dimension. Your spirit is continuously going through dimensions, but you have to be careful and cautious when it comes to that. Because some dimensions you will experience negativity mixing with positivity, but there will be something different every time you go through an ascension process. There will be something different. Now, that's another reason why you're experiencing a different vibration whenever it comes to some of these individuals you used to associate with, that you no longer resonate with. Some of you out there are going through some type of deep transformation. It's a deep spiritual transformation. And you may feel spiritually dehydrated at this time. You feel like your spirit can't get enough of some form of enlightenment or whatever. But that's because your energy is cleansing itself. The old spiritual shell is cleansing and shedding itself. That's exactly what's going on. It's not that you're going through a bout of depression. That somewhat can simulate spiritual depression. And this may be a very uncomfortable period for some of you out there that may be going through this transitioning period and ascension. It's because of spirit. It's almost like this is something new to you and you can't fully adapt to this change. And it may feel very uncomfortable on a spiritual level. But change is what's needed. Your diet may be changing. The music that you listen to may be changing. The people that you once used to talk to could be changing. That's all part of your spiritual ascension. Because the energies beyond those vessels and the spirit beyond those vessels are not on the same dimensional frequency as your soul is. That's exactly why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. And this is not to hurt you in any type of way, what you're going through. This is to get you more aware of what's really going on. To break you loose of certain beliefs out there, to break you loose, and to have you see things for what they really are. Just like I told y'all before in one of my older reads, whenever I said that magic and all that, the false side of enlightenment, that's not where you're going to find true healing at. That right there is actually going to stunt your healing growth. It's going to stagnate you. It's going to give off the illusion as if you're ascending, but you really are experiencing some form of, there's some type of trauma that is being ignored. That's a way to bury some form of root that you think is going to go away, but yet if that root's still there, just like I said in my other video, if the roots are still there with that problem, it's going to continuously keep coming back. So that's what I tell people about. Be careful about the false side of enlightenment. Be careful when it comes to using magic for certain things out there, because if you're trying to use that in order to heal yourself, it's not going to properly purge and have a soul transition appear. Like it's not going to properly purge itself from your spiritual side. You have to uproot it from your spiritual roots. You have to get to the root of the problem. Therefore, it's going to allow you to actually make it through a transitioning period. You're going to be able to successfully make it through. Some of you out there may be noticing a change at how you don't really jam to the same music you used to listen to. You don't really resonate with certain conversations out there. It's like you get bored with certain things that you once used to have fun with. Some of you out there could have had fun at a certain activity you used to do. But yet everything is changing and you may be feeling somewhat depressed. It's because the spirit is not fully comfortable with the transitioning period. And that right there could be taking a toll on your energetic levels. Some of you out there may have thought something about your love life. I'm also channeling something about your love life. Your love life may be changing drastically. The people that you once resonated with are no longer interest you. They no longer interest you. Past people that you thought was your match has completely disappeared from your life. And the same thing is happening to your person who's made for you. The same thing is happening to them. Because it's time for someone new and something different, way different than what you're used to having. And this right here is for your highest good. You remember how I've been channeling the last few reads that I put out about you could meet somebody across the country. You could meet somebody across the ocean. I'm going to tell you what that is. See, a lot of people get trapped in their head thinking that they'll never find love. Love ain't around them. But little do you know, they have a person that's in this whole world that is made for you. I don't care if they're at a long distance. If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. That's why God invented things to where you could get to each other, to see each other. See, people that live in that state of mind to where they think things are impossible, that something is not going to happen, don't you know you can manifest the best by believing you deserve the best? And it could come from somewhere completely different. Bro, the power of belief is the power of getting what you deserve. Because if you believe you deserve the best, but you got to love yourself first, and you got to correct a lot of errors and mistakes that you made, and to own up that you're not perfect, and to actually fix a lot of insecurities. And even if you had some self-esteem issues, that's okay. You got to heal that. You got to heal that and fully love yourself. Therefore, you're not going to have this missing void on the inside. You're not going to doubt yourself. Oh, well, this ain't never going to happen. You're right. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It was funny how I said that. Bro, it's the truth. It's the truth. People just want to give up, bro, like they agitate. They just want to give up and shove things aside. No, we're not about to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you right now, when somebody has that state of mind, they will manifest exactly what their thoughts are putting out to the universal flow of energy. Even if they don't say it out loud, it still is going to manifest and mirror back what they believe within themselves. Bruh, just because somebody could seem confident on the outer exterior, the universal energy, flow of energy, the spiritual law, the divine energy knows how your energetic flow really is. That's why you always experience the same person in a different vessel. Pay attention. Pay attention. You attract these narcissists out there, let me tell you what it is. Why they remind you of the last person, because it's the same flow of energy. They don't have to look like the other person, but you can swear up and down they remind you of the last person that you was with, because that's your level of frequency that you're setting your belief on. And a lot of people cannot understand that for the life of why they keep on attracting the same type of people. It's because it's the same energetic frequency that the mind is continuously in a rotation of. Starting to get kind of hot out here, y'all. But anyways, that's exactly what it is. When you have a certain belief and things are not healed, codependency, for instance, which it's okay to have that. It's okay to admit that you may have some problems with that. Don't let these other people out there tell you that that's weak, okay? You have to heal that in order to become stronger. You're a strong person when you can admit that there's a problem somewhere. That's the only way that you can expand and grow, okay? You have to be vulnerable with yourself, bro, but you also have to be hard on yourself too. See, not everybody's gonna live through the same way that some of us out there have grew up, because some of us has grew up in a very tough skin environment. Environment is what I mean. Like, you gotta have thick skin, tough skin. But being hard on ourselves, but yet vulnerable at the same time, to allow something to actually be purged and to be released, to face the issue for what it is, that right there is what's gonna rid the problem. Just how they have that famous saying, you can't run from your problems because they'll catch you. I don't know if you ever heard that. Because it's like it has an attachment to you. It has an attachment. The problems are codependent upon you. Because your mind, your body, your spirit is what's mirroring it and sending a signal to the attachment that's attached to your vessel. That's attached to the deep-seated issue on the inside. That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly why you can't fully get away from it. Because once again, it's just like a plant with its roots in the ground. You have to fully clip the roots from that plant in order to stop it from growing back. Just like that attachment that you have within the problems. The problems wouldn't be there if it was faced and you actually dealt with them head on, face to face, and confronted the issue from its core. That right there is going to give you much more strength and courage, and to believe in yourself even more. That's how you develop self-love. You're never going to develop self-love by running from your problems. Using magic, for instance, doing all this, the false side of enlightenment, that's not going to bring the proper healing that your soul really deserves. You're going to have to sit down, get in the mirror. Some people call it mirror gazing. Some people call that a form of magic. But I call it a form of looking at you in your soul as to say that there's a problem. Because when you look at yourself in the mirror, bro, you're looking into another dimension. You're looking at your soul. You're looking at your soul. A lot of people don't see it that way, but I see the deeper meaning beyond the meaning of mirrors. Now, they could be used for harmful purposes. You got to watch stuff like that. You got to make sure the energy is protected. A lot of people cover up their TVs and mirrors because they don't want negative energy to keep on pouring through them because they're a form of a portal. But at the same time, when it comes to the mirror, you should be okay. I mean, if you want to say a little prayer before you sit in the mirror and talk to yourself, and don't let these other people claim that you're a weirdo, bro. You are actually sitting down with yourself and having a discussion. Several of us had to do that in order to put yourself on a judgment, to bring things up to the surface that needs to be judged. That way, you can release it. You can release, I'm just getting passionate. You can release it. That way, you don't have to worry about that no more. You don't have to deal with it no more. It's all about dragging them demons up one by one, one by one. They may not like that. It may make you uncomfortable. But you know what? It's the most uncomfortable, challenging situations of what's going to make you a successful person. I'm telling you. It's the most uncomfortable, challenging situation of what's going to make you a better, much more successful and wiser person. Because a person that could judge themselves and put themselves on an accurate judgment also has the ability to be a wise individual. It's what gives the individual wisdom. A person must first acknowledge themselves and put themselves under judgment in order to become a wise one. And some of you out there are being guided to do just that. To look at what's really going on, to not use it in a negative perspective, but transmute the energies in a very new type of way. And a lot of you out there may not be used to this type of transition period. You may not be used to this transformation because it's something different. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've had experience with this, which is why I could bring it to y'all awareness. I've had plenty of experience with this. That's why I'm speaking from experience. And like I said, I don't know everything. I just speak on things simply from experience. That's why I could give y'all the ability to have clarity on what's really going on. That way you don't have to be going out there freaking out. That's the worst thing to do. That's the worst thing to do. Some of you out there may be feeling like you're in the middle of the ocean. Bro, that word just sounds beautiful, ocean. I just like the sound of that word, ocean. But anyways, I just had to put that out there. It just got a certain ring to it, bro, ocean. But anyways, getting back to the message. Okay, I kind of had like a deja vu type of moment. Like I see myself doing this before. Down this path right here. That's a sign from the Lord. You're on the right path, son. But anyways, getting back to what I was telling y'all a few minutes ago. Some of you out there may be feeling like you're in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You may be feeling like you're in the middle of the ocean. You don't have, this is just an analogy. You may feel like you're stranded out in the middle of the ocean, broke down where you can't get back to the land. There's no help. But you only have one thing. You have faith. You have faith. Faith is power. Faith is power. You also have an inner guidance. You also have an inner guidance. Now, this is an analogy that's going to be very powerful to some of you out there that you may seem like it's giving off the illusion as if you're stranded. But here's the thing. Listen to this analogy very carefully. Don't you know that whatever boat that you're in, this analogy, by the way, I'm going to keep it very specific. I'm using this as an analogy to help y'all overcome some type of issue that's giving off the illusion as if you'll never make it through the process or the transitioning period. Check this out. Don't you know on that boat that you may be stranded on, has a reserve tank? Some people, when they panic, that's the worst thing to do in a situation like that. Because when you panic, it stirs up all kind of negative energies. Therefore, gives the permission to the negative, evil spirits that's around you to pollute the brain even more. You wouldn't even be thinking about a reserve tank. You wouldn't even be thinking about that. You wouldn't even have that cross through your mind because of panicking. Oh, it's out of gas. It's out of gas. What we going to do? There ain't no more gas cans in here. Which should make sure you have, extra gas while you out there. But at the same time, just hear me out when I'm saying this, okay? When you're calm, you will instantly be thinking, how can you get back to land? If it's a problem that you ran out of gas, reserve tank. Some of you out there could have installed that yourself. And if you was to panic, that would be the last thing that would come to your mind. But once again, this is an analogy. You have some form of reserve tank that you can use to go back. And that right there would fix the problem. That right there would cure the issue. Bro, think about how much relief that you would actually feel. Think about how much relief you would actually feel by getting back to land, knowing that you had that reserve tank all that time, from simply not panicking. Because pay attention to when you lose something and you thought you could swear up and down you lost it, and it's like your spirit sink to the bottomless pit. You don't feel good at all about losing something, but yet it's not lost. And when you find something or you remember something and you actually find what you was looking for, I want y'all to remember that sense of peace that you feel within your soul. That right there is a spirit of calmness. That right there is the spirit of remaining in control on a spiritual level and an emotional level. When you're calm, your brain has more time to distinguish what's really going on. It has time to actually discern and to come up with a quick answer. Because when you're panicking, it's going to be delayed. Because that's the last thing on the human brain when the neurons and the flight or fight response signals are going haywire. Most people's first reaction is to panic. Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's about being aware of what's going on, that there's a problem. And I know it may be impossible for some people out there that may have ended up in that situation, being stranded in the water. Because to some people, they may think it's impossible to make it out okay. You have to believe, because when you believe, your adrenaline also kicks in. Your adrenaline will kick in a very, very, very supernatural way on a spiritual level to keep you alive. That's all about survival. It's okay to be aware that, hey, there's a problem here, but as far as panicking, it makes the situation worse. It don't give you any faith. It takes your faith completely away. But when you have faith, bro, I'm going to tell you, you will believe the answers that will come to you from the Most High. That will literally guide you how to get out of that situation. Or at least keep you alive. Even though you may be out there for a few days, it's an analogy. Until help can arrive. Because you never know who could be guided that direction. That's one of your angels. See, most people out there, the reason why they're not protected, they may be questioning why they don't have their angels around, because They don't have their faith at a high rate of belief. They don't have their faith at an incredible high rate of belief to believe that they're protected at all times. Bro, when you have the faith that you have angels around you all the time, the Lord has sent his heavenly angels down here in human form to make sure that you're protected. They're observing to see what's really going on. You will always be protected. You will always be protected no matter what. If the Lord wants something to happen, that's going to be up to him. But if it's not a him, that's where faith comes in at to amplify his level of protection for you. Just like I said in my other video, bro, there's angels around us all the time. Even though I may be in the open field, most people wouldn't even think of that. Oh, there ain't nobody out there. This is where the most angels can be. Like, this could be a dimension right here that can have the most angelic protection that you wouldn't even be aware of. Because you're in nature. But this can be a dimension right here that I'm in that I can't see physically. But the spirit world, see, a lot of people think the spirit world, like these angels, are on this field right here. Like they're in the woods and stuff, in the trees. No. When people see spirits in their house, they can swear up and down they're in their house, but they're really not. They're crossing through dimensions. That's exactly what it is. They're crossing through dimensions. You just have the ability to see them at that exact moment, but they're not really in that house. They're in another dimension beyond the physical flesh, beyond the physical reality. That gives you the ability to see that spirit at that exact time. But when it comes to areas like this, you never know, bro. It's like most people wouldn't look at things like that. Most people wouldn't look at the protection that they have around them all the time. And that right there is kind of the negative side of having a lack of faith. Believe it or not, bro, you can have the most protection around you. That's not even part of your family. That's not even part of some of your friends that you thought was your friend. You have protection from the invisible. It's the invisible that is protecting you. Because it's the invisible that you can't see, that are operating through other vessels that you can see physically, that actually will step in at the least, how can I say this, that will step in when you least expect it to protect you. Just like I said earlier, somebody showing up to rescue you from being stranded somewhere. Who you think did that? How you think help got out there? Something had to guide them that way. Something had to put in a message for them individuals to go that way. That's your angels that literally took the form of a physical vessel to help guide them to rescue you. Because God wasn't going to see you stranded like that. He knew that you were suffering. And that right there, bro, taught you a lot. It's an analogy. So, I mean, I don't know how many of y'all could have went through a situation like that. But at the same time, that was God's way of strengthening your spirit, strengthening your belief, strengthening your faith. Because when you have strong faith, when you have a lot of power and belief and faith, that right there is the key factor. When you have a lot of power, when you have a lot of strength, you believe in yourself, you believe there is a positive outcome, there will be a positive outcome. It don't matter how it manifests, you're still going to get the outcome that you believe because of how much power you really put behind that faith. And I mean, it can't always happen like that 100,000% of the time. But I'm going to go ahead and say 99.9% of the time, that you have strong faith in or something, that you believe your trip's gonna be okay if you go take a trip somewhere, chances are you're gonna be okay. Don't listen to these other people telling you, oh, well, be careful and stuff. I mean, I can understand that, but you already know that you're gonna be careful. I can understand people's concerns or whatever, but when it gets to the point to where they're showing that they're worried, they're scared, something's gonna happen, that right there is a bad energetic frequency that shows that they don't have as much faith as you do. Because when you go out there, yeah, you're aware that something can happen, but you're not gonna sit there and dwell in that type of frequency. You don't live in fear. I mean, it's good to be aware. Now, I do agree upon that. It's good to be aware of the things that can go bad, but don't never dwell in it. That's what I tried to tell y'all a while back with a read. Somebody was hesitant on reaching out to you because of insecurities. Because you may scare this individual in a certain type of way. They never was faced with somebody with that strong personality like you. But I'm going to tell you what that is. That's God's literally giving them a sign as to say, hey, they can learn something from you. They don't need to be living in fear. They don't need to be living in fear and restricting their own freedom of speech to talk to you and to be in a conversation with you. They don't need to be in fear of nothing when it comes to you. And I'm going to tell you what's doing that. It's something that's deep rooted on the inside that hasn't been fully clipped from its roots that they're dealing with, which is what's holding them back. It's their problems yanking them back. And when they face you, it's conflicting. It brings some type of conflicting energy to their perception because of something they still feel pulling them back. And that right there could be very frustrating, but let me tell you something. If the individual was to really focus on what's really holding them back and to be bold enough to face the issue, confront it, and clip it from its roots, there won't be nothing keeping them bound to the situation, keeping them bound to those problems. How that individual don't know that you would be the best for them? How that individual don't know, because I'm going to tell you right now, bro, whatever inner demons that they're dealing with, your light's too powerful. Your light's too powerful. Some of these individuals could have thought they was a powerful individual until they met somebody that just has that strong radiation around them. It's like a strong spiritual radiation around you, to where you may be bringing them some type of awareness that nobody else out there can bring to them to see what's really going on. And this right here could be painful to that individual. Some of you out there may not even know this individual from Adam and Eve or whatever, but you may be bringing a lot of transitioning periods to this individual's life that's too afraid to speak to you, that feels like something's holding them back. I'm going to tell you what's holding them back. It's those inner demons that they failed to cast out their life, that they keep on holding on to, and they keep on running from. That's what that is. And as soon as the problem is clipped from its roots, the problem won't be there no more. It won't be there no more. The problem will be purged, the energy will be cleansed, and everything will be okay. Simple as that. But some of you out there, bro, was guided and called to inspire certain individuals out there. Some of you out there could literally be inspiring the love of your life that you don't even know about. Especially if some of you out there are some type of speaker or whoever you are, because I did pick that up too, with the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. You could be literally transforming the love of your life out there, bro. That could be a new person that you ain't even seen before. But yet on a spiritual level, somehow there's a transformation happening with the individual that you don't even know about. Because whatever you believe in spiritually, that will send a signal through the spirit realm and actually get the person that's meant for you's attention. And therefore will create this magnetic force of energy like a magnet, and will begin to, you will feel like a pull sensation like that. The both of y'all will feel that in the spirit world. Even though it may not be, how can I say this? You may not be able to determine or to fully understand on a physical level what's really going on. It's what's going on in the spirit world. And what's helping you and your person guide each other to each other in order to connect. That's exactly what that is. All by the power of belief. All by believing that you deserve the best. All by believing that you love yourself. You care for yourself. It's okay to have a few flaws out there. It's okay to not be perfect. Who knows, maybe you and this individual could trigger each other in a certain type of way and ought to bring a lot of healing to each other. The Lord don't want you to be perfect. But he also don't want this individual, whoever they may be, he don't want them going down the wrong path and the false side of enlightenment. Because he sees the individual's potential and he's working through you to help guide them to see what's really going on. And he's not going to stop just because they don't like what you got to hear. Some of these individuals may get agitated because they don't like what you got to say, but yet something keeps guiding them to listen to you anyways. And they break down, they cry. I'm going to tell you what's doing that. That's the Holy Spirit. That's God's power over the devil trying to tell him, you're not going to control that individual's life. You're not going to restrict them and restrain them and keep them in fear. You're not going to do it. And God's working through you to steer the individual down the right path, which is why they keep watching you. You're not going to change something that's right for you, and you're doing the right thing. You're on the right path. Because that's the way this situation could have happened in the beginning. They wanted you to go down what they wanted you to do. The Lord don't operate with manipulation, brother. The Lord does not agree to manipulation. The Lord does not agree to that being done to you because you're too powerful for that. And you being a powerful person, bro, and continuously being stubborn enough to show the individual, just by you being yourself, bro, you could be inspiring this individual by not even knowing that they may be paying attention to you. Just by you being a strong individual like that is really showing them that there's some type of higher power that's in control. That you're not going to be deceived. Like there's actually something deceiving them. And there's something that is pulling them away from some type of lifestyle to stop that. It's like the Lord is trying to pull on them like that to help them out that issue, to pull them. Keep on pulling them like that. And yet you got the devil on the other side pulling with all his might like that, bro. Pulling with all his might like that. Keep on pulling. But yet I'm going to tell you right now, how I know the Lord is working through that individual is trying to get their attention, to get them to let go of whatever beliefs that they had that was false. I'm going to tell you what it is. The more they watch you, the more they cry and purge, the more they think about you, that's the Lord working through to them to help push them closer to you. It's not up for you to go to them, bro. No, you can only do so much. This individual needs to learn how to stand their ground and be a strong individual. I don't care if it's a male, female, whoever it is. People have the ability to have spiritual strength and to have their faith incredibly high at these times. Because when the individual has enough faith in themselves, they can face some type of deep-seated issue. Therefore, they will be able to propel forward. That entity is not going to be able to hold them back. And they're going to see exactly why that lifestyle wasn't meant for them. Because of the people that they was involved with, it didn't do shit for the individual. What, a one-night stand? Taking them out, drinking? Loving them from the superficial level, right? Oh, you beautiful. Oh, you look nice. Man, anybody can say that. What about the soul, bro? I get passionate. What about the soul? What about the soul? I get passionate whenever I do my channeling. You know what I'm saying? The plants even agree with it. You know what I'm saying? The trees even agree with it. Look, you hear them? The crickets and all that. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, what about the soul? Bro, some of these individuals will literally go, let's say they would go on a date or something like that, right? They just come out here to like a field, whatever, look at the stars. I'm just making that as an example. It's not about the stars. It's not about looking up at the sky. It's called being with somebody that you can spiritually blend with. You can spiritually blend with. Your energies mix together perfectly. Therefore, you're not going to be doing regular things like the average person would out there. You're going to be deeper in that spiritual bond. That's where it's at. And I'm going to tell you right now, bro, that's not going to be found within an average person out there that just loves to enjoy the drink. I mean, that's their lifestyle. But some of us out there, bro, don't operate that way. That's just the biggest pollution to the spirit and to stop your spiritual ascension. And that's not where real love is. People think just going on these one-night stands, bro, is going to get them somewhere. That's just more negative energy for the individual to soak up and to actually get tangled up in some type of energetic battle. Because energy is contagious. Energy is contagious. Bro, a lot of people may laugh at this message. A lot of people may think this message is funny. They may think this message is weak. But it's actually the biggest strength. It's your biggest strength. It's the ego that thinks that it needs all what I just explained, that it holds no purpose or no soul value. That's what can break the spirit. That's what keeps the physical perception and the ego running from what the soul desires. It's all about what the soul is desiring. What do you desire spiritually in a connection? I'm telling you, bro, like you have to be compatible on a spiritual level for it to be fully genuine. And I know the way that things are these days, you really can't find a real deal out there. Because of what I just explained earlier, what's causing distractions for the spiritual connections. Who out there wants to have some type of, how can I say this? Who wants to have some type of plain spiritual ship or a plain relationship with somebody? It's just a physical. There's no spirituality there. There's no spiritual, deep, dimensional connection there. You don't have telepathy. You can't look at each other and actually pull the words out of each other's mouth. Who the hell wants to be in a normal-ass connection like that? Bro, if you're somebody that truly loves yourself enough, and you really love yourself, that's what you're going to desire. Because you don't have to explain yourself to the individual. The individual already understands you. When there's a problem, you both can feel it spiritually, and it's like you work together instead of work against each other. I mean, of course, not everything's going to be perfect just because you both may be spiritual. You're still going to experience a little bit of problems here and there. But at the same time, it's not going to be dragged out like a normal connection to where there's no understanding there. But this message is only going to resonate for the people out there that has gotten out of these one-night stands, this lifestyle of one-night stands and partying and doing all that. Bro, that ain't where it's at. That ain't where it's at. I've had my day, bro. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people may freak out to that like, man, how could that man say that because I'm very wise and wise beyond my years? That ain't where it's at, bro. All it does is attract people that's just not meant for your spirit. I'm seeing a butterfly, as I said that, an orange one, to be exact. Look. See that? Exactly. I mean, bro, that's basically what you see. If you go out there in the world, I mean, not everybody's going to be involved in that, but that's mainly what it is. And if you're a spiritual person, bro, you're not going to have interest at being involved in all that. You're just going to have interest in the person that's meant for you to do activities with them. You know? But to the ones that's not healed out there, to the ones that didn't go through that type of ascension process, they're not going to be involved at what I just got through saying. Okay? They're not want to get, like they possibly don't want to get involved with you. Because to them, what I just spoke about would be boring. But the way I see what I just talked about from a third dimensional connection, that's boring as hell. Ain't nothing in that. Ain't nothing interesting in me. Ain't nothing interesting in my eyes in that. What, a one-night stand? Psh. Don't do shit, bro. It don't. I hate to sound egotistical when I say that, but these same type of individuals literally think that the spiritual side would be boring. Because you're not out there just giving your energy to just anybody. But you have to be a truly healed person. Almost as if like you're a monk. And I know a lot of people may view them as boring. They're the most inspirational. They're the most inspirational. And me, myself, I'm glad to have that personality and characteristic within me. Those spiritual monk abilities. Because it protects your energy, it shows a lot of self-discipline. It shows that you simply do not need just anybody out there because you love yourself to the fullest. Of course, you're not going to be perfect. We're all not going to be perfect. But when it comes to respecting our energy and respecting our spiritual side, that's a no-no. It's not going to happen. That's a no. And when it comes to the right person, they the ones that deserve that energy. They the ones that deserve that energy. Not just anybody out there. Seeing some of the individuals may think that you're boring because you don't know what you're doing. Because the way they perceive something is just through the physical perception. Bro, just because you celibate don't mean that you don't know what you're doing behind closed doors. Because I promise you, some of us out there, bro, know exactly what we're doing. We just choose to not go out there and just give our energy to just anybody because it's toxic. That's a good way to get an energetic sickness. It's not where it's at. But everybody is indeed different. You know? But once again, some people out there will consider what I just said about the spiritual side, being celibate, oh, you're boring. You don't compliment people. Bro, because I see things for what they are. You know how many people are out there literally complimenting that person? Bro, I'm not going to sit there and compliment something when it's not going to serve the individual soul a purpose. It's not that I'm rude about it. It's not that I'm just, how can I say this? I don't like to talk to people. It's just I'm very protective of my energy and my space. And I'm aware of what's really going on around me. Especially when it comes to the opposite sex. Like there may be other people that may compliment and do all that. That's not going to help the individual soul purpose, bro. That's not going to help the individual soul purpose. Because they get that all the time. They're possibly not used to coming across somebody that's different for once as to say, man, this man got a lot of wisdom. But of course, some of them will, if they still in that partying lifestyle, they're going to look at me and, that's boring. Good. I'm going to tell you what's boring. What I just explained a few minutes ago. See, there's two conflicting beliefs there, you know? But at the same time, get it back to the message. When it comes to somebody going through a transition and transformative period, a lot of people ain't going to like you, bro. A lot of people are not going to resonate with you on that level. And just like I said before, some people may think that you're boring. Because I'm getting that energy right now. Some people may think that you're bored. They may perceive you as bored. Because you're not doing what these other people are doing. But if you want my honesty, if you're doing something different, then how could that be boring? That's actually intriguing. When you got something different in your face, how could that be boring? That's the way I perceive it. There may be somebody out there that may be different just like you are, that may not think that you're boring. That may not see you as boring. They actually see you as very intriguing. They want to get to know more about you, but at the same time, bro, you got to be careful about that too. Know the energy that you're around and don't be afraid to challenge energy around you to see what their intentions really are. Because I'm going to tell you right now, bro, some of the energies that want to get to know you, want to get to know everything that you like in order to try to blend in with you, in order to trick you in the end. That's the trick of the devil right there. You know better than that. To the ones out there that are healed, that are actually strong, you already been through a situation like that, you already know what time it is. When somebody tries to try to ask you a little bit, like tries to ask you a little bit too information, like ask you too much. I mean, not everybody out there is going to be like that, but just use your level of that third eye vision. You will be able to see. And you know how you handle a situation like that? It's good to not know all the information, huh? You just turn the other way and walk away. Walk away. I don't care if it's awkward. They're awkward. They're not the right person for you. I'm telling you, bro, you will be able to pick up that energy, but I'm not saying everybody will be like that because maybe somebody genuinely wants to get to know you. But that's where you have to use your intuitive radar that they are trying so hard to get under it, I'm telling you. But if you're a highly intuitive person, bro, you will be able to pick up the signals, like your gut, something tugging at your gut, listening to your gut feeling, listening to what you're seeing through, paying attention to the frequency and energy that you're in front of. And that right there, bro, is the perfect analyzation process that you can ever use, which is that vision, because that's how you see. That's how you see. Energy gives you the ability to see what the physical flesh can't determine or can't distinguish. The physical perception can't distinguish. Even though something may look great on the outer exterior, does that mean that it's great on the inside? Does it mean that it has great intentions? Question that. That's why some of us out there, bro, don't care to be like a model type or whatever. I may break out on my face sometimes. I may look scruffy sometimes because I'm meant to look rough. It shows who I really am, and I'm not afraid to be my authentic self. Even though, yeah, it's good to take care of yourself, but you got to take more care of your spirit. You got to take more care of your spirit. I used to be insecure about my teeth at one time because I got a gap in them. I don't care about that. I don't care that I may break out on my face. Sometimes it's life. If God wanted me to be something that I wasn't, then there you go. But I'm not saying like just let your physical health go down. No. But you ain't gotta look all perfect, bro. You ain't gotta be all like a model type or whatever. Be your true, naturally born, gifted self. Be who you feel comfortable at being. Because when you love yourself, you're not gonna care how other people see you. Oh, he's got a big old sweat stain on his shirt. Good. 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 Well, I don't like him because he sweats when he's out in the sun. Well, what you expect? To get cold? Yo. I'm telling you. But just like I said before, y'all, when it comes to certain vibrational energies out there, you have to be aware of what's really going on in the spirit world. You have to be really aware of what's really going on with the frequencies and energies around you. Because just like I said, bro, you could be fooled by the physical perception of something. But the spirit's not going to be able to fool you any way, shape, form, or fashion. You will always get the answer that you're really looking for. You know? You will always get the answers that, I'm telling you, bro. That was kind of funny what I said a few minutes ago about the shirt thing. Well, they don't like you because you sweat too much in the sun. Good. That's just what it is. What, you expect me to be freezing cold? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, y'all, the Lord trying to tell me that I've said enough. Look, the weather's kind of getting bad. It's about to rain. You hear the wind? Look. The wind's blowing, bro. Look. See that? Look. That's y'all see that? Go, that wind blowing, boy. Look, look. I thought I'd come out here and give y'all a message. A spiritual message at that. You know? But just like I said earlier, y'all, when it comes to the physical appearance or whatever, most people will be interested in that, but that's to the ones that's really not involved with the spiritual side, like spirituality. That's just boring to me. Like somebody that's only interested in the physical, my physical appearance, that's boring. It don't mix with my energy, you know? It just don't mix too well with my energy. I mean, I don't mind people compliment me, you know, like say you got pretty eyes or whatever. I appreciate that. But it's just, if somebody only is interested in me because of the appearance, I will literally give off the vibrational energy and push them back energetically. I don't have to say nothing, like it's just the way my energy is will get them to leave me alone. It bores me. It don't interest me, and I have no interest in talking. You know. But some people out there, bro, would love that. You know, like they would love that. They get an ego boost out of that. That don't happen to me. And I know they may be genuine by doing that. Like I'm not saying they looking for me to get an ego boost. No. But there's things that's more important than that that's out there. You know. But that's mainly what I wanted to make a video about, y'all, to give y'all some insight, some spiritual insight. It is about to rain where I'm at. It's not raining yet, but I can smell the rain. You see how it's gray? See? But anyway, y'all, thank y'all very much for tuning into my video. I greatly appreciate that. I just felt the rain. Yep, the rain. Yep. There it is. That's the Lord trying to give me a message. Hey, you said enough, son. You did what you was called to do today. You channeled that message. I'm proud of you. I look at a form of rain as a form of cleansing the earth. That's his way of cleansing the earth, you know? But once again, like, to the ones out there that even compliment people from the outer exterior or whatever, if that's what they feel good about doing, then they could do that, you know? But when it comes to me personally, I just don't get down with that, bro. Like, I'm not about the physical appearance like that. That's why I don't care that I don't look like this other person or whatever. Oh, well, this person looks better. Good. That right there is the ego. That's the ego. That's the ego. Because the ego feels like it needs to compete for something. Hold on, y'all. I'm not going to be on camera while I drive, because that's a distraction. But I will keep on with the video, because I feel another message being channeled. So when it comes to this type of energy, of somebody, what I was talking about? I was talking about something in regards to somebody saying that about the looks. It shouldn't matter how somebody looks. It shouldn't matter how somebody looks on the outer exterior, bro. Especially when it comes to a spiritual connection, you know, to the spiritual people out there. But anyways, Lord trying to tell me that I've did enough channeling. I got the message out for today, and I will see y'all some other time. Thank y'all very much for love and support. Greatly appreciate it. I'm not going to continuously go on. I'm going to obey the higher power. When it wants me to stop something, I'm going to stop. The rain was a sign in itself. I'm not meant to channel in the car. I'm not meant to do all that. I will obey the higher power. Y'all take it easy out there. Much love to you. If you want to leave any donations out of generosity, I would greatly appreciate that. And thank y'all very much for tuning in and listening to the message. Keep in mind this will not resonate with everybody. And I will see y'all some other time. Peace.